Danny is tired of playing her music in dingy dive bars and decides to go all in. She packs her belongings into her car and heads across the country to Los Angeles. Along the way, she meets a waitress named Caitlin, who is being crushed by her husband, and convinces her to start a new life together. But during a stop at a remote roadside parking lot, they're attacked. And soon the girls wake up in the house of a psychotic killer couple, searching for a partner for their grotesque son. Short films are usually a kind of testing ground for aspiring directors. A chance to try out ideas and concepts, showcase their talent, attract the attention of major studios, or build a portfolio strong enough to launch a proper feature. Director and writer Craig Ouelette seems to have lingered at that stage. His first short came out in 2005, and over the next 20 years he made more than 24 others. Straight On Till Morning marks Ouellette's feature debut, a film he and his co-writer Neil McLaughlin spent 15 years developing. What began as an idea to blend true romance and Hostel, along with a dream of casting Natalie Portman in the lead, eventually turned into a romantic slasher that at times recalls the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Martyrs, Thelma and Louise, and even the recent slasher Match, which also featured a reclusive misfit looking for a partner. The influences are varied and often wildly different, but Ouelette manages to keep them in balance, avoiding a chaotic mashup of borrowed ideas. Interestingly, the theme of same-sex love wasn't part of the original concept, but it ultimately transforms what could have been a fairly standard plot into something closer to a manifesto. When Caitlin meets Danny, she's a heterosexual married woman whose life is far from ideal. In Danny, she finds not just a friend, but hope for a better future. Someone caring, attentive, selfless, who unexpectedly awakens something within her as a woman. But the path to happiness is blocked by the old world. An abusive husband tracking her down, and a family of religious fanatics who, after capturing the girls, torment them not only physically but psychologically, lecturing them endlessly about how a good woman should endure, stay silent, and serve. So what do we choose? Pure, liberating same-sex love, or a suffocating, toxic heterosexual relationship built on humiliation, control, and fear? The question is rhetorical. The filmmakers simply show what love that gives looks like next to love that takes. Although Ouelette primarily worked in thrillers and horror within the short format, Straight On Till Morning was largely new territory for him. The 15 years he and McLaughlin spent writing the script ultimately proved insufficient, and the shoot had to be split into several blocks. Some elements were refined on the fly, others were reshot entirely. The final 105-minute cut is predictably uneven. On one hand, it works as a genre piece, but on the other, there's plenty that could have been trimmed, especially in the first act and the middle stretch. This often happens when filmmakers lack an experienced producer who can offer an objective outside perspective and help shape the material. Still, if you're willing to overlook its pacing issues and occasional stumbles, Straight On Till Morning comes together as a solid and engaging slasher, with strong performances, confident direction in its tense sequences, and a surprisingly assured handling of its more brutal moments. It's no Hostel, of course, but given its modest budget, Ouelette clearly made the most of what he had. For all its flaws, it's a film that pulls you in, keeps you hooked, and at times even manages to be genuinely unsettling. And it makes the case that love always wins. Let's just not dwell on which kind.